Hey everyone, welcome to the Right or Wrong Show. First show on Wednesday. Tower had a lot of stuff to do last night, but we're here, ready to talk some sports. Week 1 of college football is coming up this week, and we got a lot of college football coming up later. First topic on the segment today is, with all the running back drama around the NFL right now, do we think that any player ever will break Emmitt Smith's all-time rushing record of 18,355 yards? Do you think it's possible?
Here's the thing. It's always going to be possible. The record's always going to be.
So?
I know people are like, this record's unbreakable. And based on looking at the outlook of the running back market and how things are, it looks pretty impossible with how the running back's life is just going down the drain. But here's
Emmitt Smith played till he was 35.
And no running backs playing until
Nobody's played till they're 35.
But here's the people said the same thing about Oscar Robinson. They were like, nobody's breaking that triple-double record. Like, no one's going to break it.
You know, that's a good point.
And you know what? Russ did it.
Russell Westbrook, he came on, single season, triple-double record, all-time triple-double record.
So I'm not going to say it's impossible.
That's a good
but
comparison
anything
to
in the next future? Gosh. I don't think so. I mean, what the running back lifespan is looking like about 10 years. If you want to hit
10 is long.
10's long.
People call Christian McCaffrey old. He's like 28.
Yeah.
He's been in the league 7 or 8.
And you're looking at, Emmitt Smith, 18,000 rushing yards. You got to play 18 seasons rush for 1,000 yards. And that's
18,000-yard rushing seasons.
That's nuts.
I don't think we can overstate how incredible this guy was. He was MVP in 93 at age 24. He averaged over the course, he played 15 seasons, and that was an average of about 1,200 yards per season. A 3-time Super Bowl champ, and it's not a stretch to say that he was the best player on the Super Bowl teams. Aikman was great. Irvin was great, but he might have been the best ever. 4-time All-Pro. I don't think that record's ever getting broken. I don't. Because listen, with the way offenses are shifting to passing the ball more and more and more, especially in neutral situations, I just don't think any running backs are ever going to get the use anymore to get used enough over the course of however long they play to get to 18,000 rushing yards. I think it's really cool, and I'm proud to say as a Cowboys fan that I think he'll hold that record forever.
I don't know about forever, man. That's the problem,
You can never say forever, but I'm going to say forever. I'm going to say forever.
He really could. He really could, but I think that there's going to come along some kind of running back as a generational talent, some kind of just dominant.
Like an athlete we've never seen before.
Yeah, and it's going to just change the scope. I mean, history's bound to repeat itself, and you look at how, times have changed. Now it's a total passing game, but it might come down to that smash mouth football again.
You think the run might come back?
The run might come back.
Wouldn't that be interesting if we were 50 years old, we're sitting on the couch, and they're playing smash mouth football again in 2060? That'd be crazy.
But, you do bring up a good point about the smash mouth football thing. With the way the rules have changed and all that.
You can't hit people the way that you got to hit people back then.
Yeah, look at this. They're just getting hammered out there.
Yeah.
No, but I think you got to just that's the other interesting point. How is the game going to evolve and change to the point where maybe the running backs are just non-existent? Really? Because
we're already talking about running backs playing positionless football, lining up a wide receiver, lining up a tight end, doing all more blocking.
People are looking more at Christian McCaffrey as a receiving threat more than a rushing threat, and that's why Derrick Henry's hype of dominance of running the rock, running the football has just kind of gone downhill.
That's like Christian McCaffrey and Austin Eckler, the two best two-way running backs, receiver and running in the NFL, are the top fantasy choices in all the fantasy drafts that we're doing right now.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. I think I could. I'm going
to say I won this argument. I'm going to say I won this one.
You can
take this one.
You can never say impossible.
I'm going to take this one.
You can never say impossible, but I think we'll be 6 feet deep in the ground before that thing's broken.
That'd be crazy. Yeah. How about that? Okay, next up. With all the conference realignment, there's been a lot of talk of Cal, Stanford, and SMU moving to the ACC. Talks are being finalized right now. Originally, Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina, and NC State were the 4 teams in the ACC to object to those other 3 schools joining. It has to be a unanimous vote for any of those schools to join. Do you think their decisions will be overturned before the end of this week when the decision is supposedly going to be made?
The end of this week, no. But I do think in the future that it's going to become just you're going to be forced to join one of these big conferences if you want to remain competitive. If you want to.
They want to, but it's the 4 schools in the ACC that don't want to.
And those 4 schools, I think, want to get out themselves. So they can't bring them in and then get them out. So they got to get out first before they can bring them in, which is, I think, the other part that's holding the vote back of them getting in. But I think eventually it will get done because the Pac-12 is dead, and you can't have these.
Pac-12's done.
You're not gonna. They're not going to create another conference, Cal, Stanford, and these other guys. So their only option. Their only option is to join one of these other schools if they want to remain somewhat of their competitive history.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think the model that they're considering right now is really interesting. So SMU is going to have 7 years of no media rights money.
Wow.
And Cal and Stanford are going to start out. The plan was for them to start out with 30% share of the media rights money, so less than a third of what the other schools are getting. And those 3 schools joining would actually create $50 to $60 million of added revenue.
Per
That
school?
would not per school. Not per school. That's SEC money right there. We can't talk about that yet. $50 to $60 million of extra revenue that will be distributed. Some of it to the schools that are already in the ACC, which is I think why the momentum is snowballing, because those schools are deciding, well, if we get some extra money out of this, maybe we can have those 3 schools join.
Yeah, I think that I don't know if they're going to be able to get anything done this week, but I think in the near future it's imminent that it's going to happen, and it's going to be imminent for most of these schools to join one of 3 conferences, really. As an ACC athlete yourself, what do you think, personally, deep down as an athlete, about Cal, Stanford, and SMU possibly joining our conference? Now, I think a lot of people look at this from the football standpoint.
They do. That's all we talk about. We talk about the money in the football.
As they should, but they don't realize the other impacts that these schools joining have on other athletics.
There's a ton of other sports. That's the ACC's calling card, is having all the other sports in there, not all the Olympic sports.
Yeah. And so for us personally, especially as swimmers, like having Cal and Stanford, which are top 10 programs in swimming, joining already the best conference in swimming, it's going to be very interesting to look at how these championship meets are going to play out. And I can't speak for the other sports because I'm not as in tune for them, but I can only imagine that it's somewhere along the same lines because the competition is already the top of the ACC.
That'd be crazy.
It's going to be even crazier.
I mean, could you imagine a conference with NC State and Cal in it?
You got 2 top 4 swim schools right there.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and the other 2 are in the SEC. It's be the SEC with now Texas, and the ACC with possibly NC State and Cal.
Yeah. I just think people don't really realize that, and I could see some pushback from some of the other sports joining that. It might only be a football thing, really.
Yeah. What do you think of a Friday morning flight out to Berkeley, California to go race Cal? What do you think of that?
Listen, I think it'd be a lot of fun. First off, I do
think
it'd be a lot of fun.
It'd be pretty darn cool.
But I also think that's going to just tally up on these schools. I don't think they realize the expense.
That's a lot of extra money spent on flights.
Especially for programs like swimming or, what it might be.
I mean, flying commercial all the way out there, what if your flight gets delayed? You know?
And then I
think it'll be a mess.
You miss school, and then you miss school for another 2 days because you can't get out from California because who knows? Maybe there's like a wildfire out there, and then we're stuck in California for who knows how long. And
or they're rioting at the airport because that's what they do in California.
Who knows? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. All right, so a lot of controversy there, a lot of weird, interesting new things to consider. Next up on the show, we're introducing a new segment featuring our name, The Right or Wrong. It's called Tyler's Takes Right or Wrong. I'm going to say a statement. Tyler's going to say whether it's a right statement or a wrong statement and why. Here we go. Tyler, coming off of their 42-3 hammering of Navy in Ireland, Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, our blood, will make the college football playoff in 2023.
It's really tough for me to say this, but wrong. I'm going to say wrong because here's the reality. I need to see more. It's Navy. We're supposed to beat the brakes off of Navy.
We didn't beat the brakes off them last year.
I know, and listen, Sam Hartman looked amazing. Notre Dame looked really dang good, but there were some really sloppy things. And I think, it's the beginning of the season, you got to clean things up.
We're always sloppy at the beginning of the season.
I can't say they make the college football playoff until they beat either USC or Ohio State.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it.
Do you agree that Notre Dame has to win 2 of the 3 games against USC, Clemson, and Ohio State to make the playoff?
The only way they make it is with 1 loss.
Yeah.
At the worst. If they go undefeated, they're in.
Oh, for sure.
But at worst case scenario, they need to only have 1 loss.
I mean, think about that for a second. People cannot be talking about Notre Dame having a cupcake schedule another year. I mean, listen to this. We're playing Ohio State, Clemson, USC. There's other good teams on the schedule. You got Wake Forest, you got Duke, you got a couple of ACC schools. NC State, they're not bad. We got Louisville in there, they're not bad. Like, I just can't believe people are, still giving a shit for that because I believe, if we can prove our worth, and honestly, I think with 2 losses we have a shot. But 2-loss teams, unless they're conference champion, probably won't make it in.
Yeah, and I think that's the reality. It's going to come down to a 1-loss team, and we got to see. I think we got a lot of momentum and a lot of push, especially with how they looked.
South Bend is fun right now.
Yeah, but the reality is we need to beat one of those schools, and if we start out with a win at Ohio State, I think that gives us an amazing shot to make the college football playoff because knocking off Ohio State, that shows you, hey, they're legit.
Next up, Towers Takes. Another week 0 result. USC's defense, after giving up 28 to San Jose State, USC's defense will be its downfall this year.
Right. It will be. USC.
You don't think Caleb Williams can...
They're offensive firepower. They are. Caleb Williams is great, everything. But how you letting San Jose State put that up against you? I mean, seriously.
They still won by 4 touchdowns.
I know they won by 4 touchdowns. But, I mean, you're going to shred the defense. You're going to shred it because you have Caleb Williams. But there is going to be times where you're going to be stuffed to a halt when you have a good all-around team. And all it takes is a good all-around team with an above-average offense, as we're looking now, to get through. I mean, San Jose State is, respect to all the San Jose State fans out there, they're nothing. Like, USC should kill them. And they did. But, I mean, I don't know how you're going to allow that many points, especially with their defense. I could see them having some trouble this year, especially with teams that are a bit more formidable, especially on the offensive end and on the defensive end, because, I mean, San Jose State's nowhere close to USC in terms of talent or what they have to do. So USC, their defense got to shape it together, and this has always been a problem with Lincoln Riley's teams.
It has. You're right. OU, they were horrible on defense. Remember when they gave up 63 to Joe Burrow in the playoff?
But I think the Big 12 is not as strong as the Pac-12 with this top.
Oh, I agree. OU's trash now with Lincoln Riley in Southern California. Next up, Georgia is coming off of 2 straight national championships. Going in for the three-peat, they are the favorite to win their three-peat and repeat as college football playoff national champions.
Right.
They're the favorite.
They are the favorite. Even though there's no more Stetson Bennett there, it's Georgia. And
Georgia.
They're becoming a dynasty. How can you not say they're the favorite when they've just won 2 back-to-back national championships and blowing out TCU in the national championship?
Boy, that was crazy.
I mean, that is a large gap. Now, Ohio State put up a really good fight against them.
Sure did. That missed field goal.
But how can you not say they're the favorites, especially with how their talent has come into the pool? I think they're gonna be just fine. I think they're gonna have a bit of a shaky start with a new quarterback, but they're gonna get it together, just like they got to get together with Stetson Bennett. He had a few rough starts, and then next thing you know, they're steamrolling everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think you can't count them out. They're gonna just have to get through these first few weeks, and they're gonna be just fine. But I don't know how you can't say the title favorites when they won back-to-back and they blew out TCU in the national championship. It just shows the gap that there is. And
yeah,
they're on the
huge
verge,
gap.
They're on the verge of a dynasty. Kirby Smart knows that they know it, and I know they want to get that 3rd one done.
That'd be really, really cool to see. Number 4, Florida State will end the Clemson Tigers' reign atop the ACC.
It's right. It's right.
You think so? You like the Seminoles?
I like the Seminoles. I think they're getting their swagger back. Just like when they had it with Jameis Winston, they're getting it back. And I think they know that Clemson has fallen from their ways of dominance.
Yeah.
Everyone knows they're slipping. Clemson knows they're slipping. I know they still got talent, and they're still Clemson. They got Dabo and everything. But Florida State is up and coming. And, look at the momentum they carried last year. They're going to take that and run with it this year. I think they're going to be ready to roll. Jordan Travis is going to carry them from week 1. They're going to have a great game.
He's a big Heisman favorite.
He's a big Heisman favorite. And I think they're going to have a great week 1. And I think they're going to just steamroll their way through the ACC, really. I think that if they go together with Clemson, I give them 14 points on them, honestly.
14?
I think Clemson's good, but I still think they have a lot of...
I'm going to have to agree with you there, to be honest. I think Dabo Swinney is a little overrated as a coach these days. They don't utilize the transfer portal or NIL nearly as much as modern premier college football teams do these days. And I think that's going to eventually bite them in the butt. I kind of see this as Michael Jordan and the Bulls finally overtaking the Pistons. in the Eastern Conference, and I think this is kind
And here's the thing that
what this reminds
I
me
also
of.
have to say about it. I think Clemson was really known for their defense during that time. Brent Venables is gone now.
Yeah.
And, Deshaun was a generational talent for them. And
Deshaun
they
Watson.
carried them through their...
Deshaun Watson.
Mama, there.
God, I want Deshaun Watson back. I need prime Deshaun Watson back. Oh, man. I think the Cleveland Browns have a legitimate chance to win the AFC North this year. I hope Deshaun returns to his dominance. Sorry. Keep going.
No, but back to Brent Venables. He's gone. Deshaun carried that offense in that time.
And Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, and Trevor Lawrence. And they don't have that at quarterback anymore.
No.
And they don't have
No, they really don't.
And they don't have that at defense anymore. So I think they kind of know that they're weak right now. And
Yeah.
Florida State knows it too, and they're going to jump on it.
Yep. All right, next up, another great up-and-coming team trying to say that they can overthrow their demons in their conference. The Nittany Lions, Penn State. They have a legitimate chance to win the Big Ten, right or wrong.
I've never been. It's so wrong. It's so wrong.
No, it's not. It's not true.
It's so wrong. It's so wrong. Listen.
Drew Lohr is the answer in State College.
I don't think Drew Lohr is the answer. I do not.
Yeah, he is. That dude is him.
I don't think he's the answer.
Yes, he is.
I-
He's really good. He's
right.
the best. He might be the best quarterback in the Big Ten.
I still don't think Penn State's got it, man. I just don't. And I've just seen them be fraudulent for so many years that I can't get away from their fraudulency. I just can't. Every year they get hyped up, and every year they just fall off the cliff. Even with Saquon, they had it right there. I don't know.
And Sam Darnold got to him.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I just think it's wrong. I do. I think the Big Ten's the Big Ten, and the Big Ten football is different. And you can lose to anybody on any given week, really. And I think that there's going to come a day where, who knows, Illinois knocks them off. I don't know who it might be.
Something's going to happen to him.
Something's going to happen.
It's crazy the talent disparity between the SEC or the Big Ten East and the Big Ten West.
Yeah.
The Big Ten East has the best 3 teams in the conference, and the Big Ten West is just, Wisconsin or Iowa's walk in the park every year.
Yeah.
Or Purdue. Purdue!
Who knows? And that's what I'm saying. I think the talent's too big in the Big Ten East for Penn State to do anything, so I can't say that they're going to do anything.
Damn.
So I think they can't win the Big Ten. And
It's a
I'm going to
shame
say
to beat Penn State.
I'm going to say that that's the case this year. 3
of the top 7 teams in the preseason are from the Big Ten East. Penn State's there at number 7. Ohio State, Michigan, both above them.
Yep. All right, man. Hey, enough about me. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about you. As Toby Key said, I don't want to talk about me. I'm just kidding. He said, I want to talk about me. All right. Goose. You love these spreads, kid. Tell me about these spreads as we head into this college football thing.
All right, I'll preface this right now. I'm not a betting man. I've never bet on college sports, but I do pay a lot of attention to betting markets. I have friends who have graduated who do a lot of betting. I talk to them daily about this. I got a couple spreads for college football week 1 this weekend. We're on the team in college football, and I'm ready to break them down for you. The first 2 actually are unranked teams on the road at ranked opponents, and I love their spread. Number 1, Colorado, the Buffaloes at number 17 TCU. Here's why. TCU.
What's the spread?
Oh, sorry. Colorado plus 20.5, so almost 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
All right. Here's the thing. TCU won all their games close last year. They were the guys who ran the ball with 30 seconds left and ran a fire drill walk-off field goal to beat Baylor. These guys were mayhem all of 2022. They lost Max Duggan. They lost Quentin Johnston. Those guys were phenomenal players that carried them through last year. I don't think they'll be a sharp. They're still number 17. But I don't think they'll be a sharp. And I think Colorado, with prime time coaching those guys up, I just can't count them out, dude. The heart those guys have is above anything that they have in Fort Worth, Texas, and at TCU. I love them to cover 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns is disrespectful to prime time.
You know what? I'm going to probably have to agree with you there. I think TCU was kind of like the Minnesota Vikings of college football last year.
Yeah.
I like what you're saying.
Yeah.
Give me your next spread,
The
Goose.
Minnesota Vikings of college football. Next up, Utah State plus 23.5 at number 25 Iowa. Here's the thing with the Iowa Hawkeyes. They don't score 24 points very often in a football game.
Yeah.
I think Utah State probably won't score more than 14 to 17 points in this game. But if they score 14 points to cover, I would have to put 38 on the board.
Yeah.
That's not happening. I'd wager $100 that Iowa will not score 38 points against Utah State this weekend. Okay? So I'm going to take the Utah State spread there because I think they can muster up a couple points. And I don't think Iowa's going to go score 30, 35, 40 points on them in this game. Kirk Ferentz is still the head coach. That dude sucks. And Iowa is not going to be able to cover 23.5. I love the Hawkeyes. I hope they have a good season. I really like them. Nick Chase is a huge Hawkeye fan. That's just not happening.
Hey, shout out Nick Chase.
Next up, my third line. Here's my first favorite. Texas Tech minus 14 at Wyoming. All right. I love the Red Raiders this year. All right. Minus 14. That's not a huge line to cover. Wyoming, I mean, it's Wyoming. You know, just running an FBS team. I looked at them. They're not anything special. And I think the Red Raiders are going to have a great year. I think they'll easily cover 2 touchdowns. I think they should have been ranked in the preseason. I think they should have been 25th or something where Iowa is. I really like them, and I think they'll cover 14 points. 2 touchdowns? Come on. If you're a legitimate Big 12 football team, you can cover 2 touchdowns when you're playing Wyoming. All right?
Well said.
Last one.
Last spread.
Tyler might disagree with me on this one as a Penn State hater. Because I got the number 7 Nittany Lions. I'm taking them minus 20.5 at home versus the West Virginia Mountaineers.
Wow.
A little bit of a backyard brawl here, not quite Pittsburgh, but it's Penn State instead. And listen, I think Drew Lohr is a really great quarterback. I think he's really exciting. I love Penn State's defense. I mean, they're sharp all the way up and down.
You know who's a really exciting quarterback that has mounted to nothing? Archie Manning right now. You know, he was a really exciting and electric quarterback, and he's 3rd string at Texas right now. So
yeah, well, that's awesome. But you know who the starter is? In Penn State, Drew Lohr. He has mounted something. He won the starting job. But I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be great. West Virginia hasn't been good in so long. And West Virginia also cannot play on the road. They're great. They're pretty good in Morgantown, whatever. But, I mean, I just love Penn State. I like them to cover 3 touchdowns in this early season matchup. I think they're going to be dominant. I think they're going to show everybody that they're legit. I think they're going to show everybody they're legit. Listen. Penn State is a lot like Notre Dame. Kind of overlooked. Always has pretty good defenses, has a good run game, has a good offensive line, but they never get great quarterback play. Everybody wanted to hate on Sean Clifford all the time. I think he was okay.
He was a good, solid quarterback.
He was fine, but he wasn't take you to the next level quarterback. We saw Notre Dame with a take you to the next level quarterback last week. They scored 42, which they haven't done in a while. Scored 42 against Navy and only allowed 3. That was awesome. And I think Penn State with a take you to the next level quarterback like Drew Lohr, which I think he can be that guy.
He doesn't play the snap.
I know he doesn't play snap, but I think he can be that guy, and I think he'll take them to the next level to be a truly elite, deserving top 6, top 8, top 4 college football team.
You're talking about Johnny.
And if they're going to be that, then I think they can beat West Virginia by 3 touchdowns. So give me that line. I might go to hell for these 4 lines, but those are the 4 spreads I love.
All right, man. They're your spreads, so I can't argue with you. But
well, you try.
True. All right, guys. That's it. That's all we've got today for the Right or Wrong show. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back soon. See you next time.
Have fun enjoying week 1 of college football this week, everyone. Really enjoy. Soak it in.
Remember, he's not a betting man, but these bets could make you money.
They sure can. I don't bet for me. I bet for you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.